Hello there everyone and welcome back. Somehow I managed to win that last match. It felt like the best I could have eked out was a tie, but somehow we managed to turn around the final two turns of the battle, mainly because my opponent, the Norse, were kind of afraid to deal with my three frontline fodder that they could have bashed and tried to go for a really quick touchdown themselves, so thankfully that played out well for me, especially since my opponent had no spare rerolls for to really be able to get away with such at least more riskier type of plays like picking up the ball and a potential pass that they were probably going to look into doing. But with that said, I got a full roster again with Goratol back up, a little bit permanently injured with his mobility, so I'm going to probably relegate him to being the front line, or at least stationing himself in the middle of the field, so that way this mobility is not as big of an issue, and he's probably going to help assist Kurosa whenever possible to at least deny assist on him, so that way he can tie people up at every opportunity. And hell, with two injuries, he could very well get a level in next match. It's entirely possible. But I still got a little bit of work to do for Aratol and Goratol. I didn't realize these two's names were almost identical to each other. But either way, I am hopeful to get another level at some point, since Kungwa has been gaining a bunch of experience in, just because I'm kind of relying on him with his pass trait to do the touchdowns if I can't do it safely and I'm down to like the final turns. He's kind of been farming experience that way. I just hope he gets like access to block or some kind of double roll for his next level up. Otherwise, it's going to become more and more tempting for me to retire him, which I would be sad to because I kind of love his name. Just Kungwa. It rolls off the tongue. It's the exact same name twice over for some weird reason. But otherwise, the streak continues. With that said, and I did buy myself an extra reroll, so that with the combination of the extra skink now that Goratol's up has me just under 1400 points, and that terrifies me since we are very likely to either give a lower ranked or lower team value team a lot of petty cash for like a star player, or it just means I'm going to be face off against a lot of players that have arguably a lot of level 3s and a lot of level 2s, especially if they've been coming back on all these other things or have very little fan factor. This is scaring me more and more since it is 100 points now that's inflating, but it has value. I'm just not sure how many of the kickoff results it actually affects, since it really just makes... I'll probably explain the fan factor a little bit more now that I have an understanding how it functions in the match itself, but it greatly increases the chances of things going in my favor, simply put. But with that said, let's get ourselves going and prepare for our next match, shall we? Well, this is what I was afraid of. This is definitely what I was afraid of. And not only that, it's goddamn chaos with all their claws and all their bashes. So what are we looking at? Level 5 Minotaur with claw, tentacles, and all that. Needless to say, I got a lot of petty cash. This might be the end for me, or at least it's going to be incredibly painful. And I could actually get Mork and Thork. Do I actually want to do that? Strength 6, it's an ogre. I probably want a wizard with that said, if I were to be serious. But this would be the crowd pleaser if I were to go this route. Since the alternative here would be a wizard, Sibley. It's again, this would be the opportunity to use the wizard. It's just I have no actual experience with it. It is a bit of the problem, and I could get an additional reroll, which would be convenient some. Wandering Apothecary is probably more important because again, extra chance to deal with injuries is pretty significant. I think this would be safer, even though Mork and Sword is amazing. Let me just look at my opposing team again. Since they only got one extra player there, level 3, level 4, level 4, 3 rerolls, only 6 fan factor, 3 guards. Well, everything's basically got guard and additional strength on their 1 Chaos Warrior. This might suck. I would love to get the ogre, but yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. If I can make it through this intact, at least, I would consider this a victory still. And by intact, I mean avoiding a lot of damn injuries to my Sorai. Simply in all honesty, we don't really care what happens to him so much, since he is kind of my one-time player I'm going to get to use for this match. But I understand what you're supposed to do here in this circumstance, since again, I really have no expendable players, so that's going to suck. I'm going to probably use my some of my level 1 skinks as the fodder for this. And as much as ridiculous as it may be to try and defend, it means I only have to worry about them being super aggressive on the pitch, at least at the very beginning. And last turn I may be okay. It's a bit of a ridiculous notion. But I have the fodder, at least. That's the one main benefit here. I just gotta find my level 1 skinks. Have them be the fodder, because remember, Claw technically reduces the armor of my Sorai and Krosa to 7. So arguably, the skinks are better equipped for this, outside the 3 dice that they're likely gonna get as a result of this. Now, I am playing defensive, so do I actually sub out one of my Sorai with that said? More muscle is always great, but mobilities can be pretty good for opportunities as well. I'm just wondering, do I want extra Sorai or not in this mix? Having a spare one is decent, because without doubt I want Sibylle in there to kind of take the hits. Since again, if he somehow were to be mutilated, at least it's water off my back. I just would like to have his potential as well. Since these guys can get tied up, I like having at least 2 skinks for mobility's sake, since I don't quite have the skills I want. And all I know is their fan factor is 6. And speaking of which, what is fan factor looking like? So how fan factor is supposed to work, let's see. If I have more fans than them, I just get +1 to all the rolls that are relevant for fan factor. But if I somehow were to get double, which I don't think I did, 12 versus, I need 24, which I'm not going to get. That would be +2 to the roll. I'm scared. I feel like a heavy underdog, and never mind I have a bunch of tackles, so that negates my skinks. In all seriousness, and they have wrestle as well. So we need to be mindful of that. And I also have a wizard to possibly do something sneaky. Again, it's a question of how to best utilize it. Since the wizard, I can only really use it at the start of the turn or at the very end, in which case it would automatically end my turn if I move or do anything with any of my players beforehand. So that's going to be really difficult for me to keep in mind, at least for opening up with it. So I'm wondering how's the best way to do this, because if I doing anything too reckless is not a good idea though. Since I only got one event, ideally, it's meant to keep... Oh, you already had a player there. It's ideally meant to keep their ball runner from, or at least knocking down the ball runner. Just kind of pressure them to touchdown early, essentially, is the main benefit of it. Since if they wait till the very last turn, I could just sap them, and it immediately knocks down the, at least target of my choice, unless I roll a 1. So you have tackle, so that's fine. That's to be expected. My opponent was prepared for this. Not like I have much choice. And this one has claws and only strength 4. That one's only a push. So you're still standing. And now it's the question, do I have to worry about a potential foul for to stand firm? Oh, you actually have block on this, which is... So you did not get pile on. Well, sucks to be you, buddy. Now, I got a nice momentum swing here. My opponent got greedy is the moral of that story. Now, these guys do not have claws, so Krosa should have fun with them. How to best take advantage of this? Couldn't tell you if I were to be honest. Since they can eat, yeah, with guard, this may not be the best idea. In all seriousness, but hey. Now, can I break a window here with Sibylle? Because in all honesty, I can. That is the honest truth. I can take advantage of this. I'm going to leave my Sorai a little bit vulnerable. Because I could blitz you maybe for good effect. And this leaves a window for me to at least pressure their ball carrier. Gotta keep in mind, you have Loner. That's almost never a good idea to try and open up with you. I'm scared, but if these first few rolls go well, then maybe that benefits me. Nope. And I'm not gonna be greedy like them. I'm not gonna make the mistake they made. Oh, and you have Wrestle. I forgot about that. I checked for block and not so much Wrestle, but not a big deal since I do have a Sorai here. Just not the guard to benefit. And I would love to tie up this Minotaur some. Since you know that's kind of what the Blitz was for. But now that I don't have a window, I can't really push very forward the best. And you do not have block there, Rattle. Because what I'm thinking is they're likely going to go this way, which is why I need to be prepared for this somehow. I am going to have to let my skinks take the beating that's going to ensue, but at the same time I want them to burn some blitz. Because otherwise, if they don't blitz with this, it's not going to cooperate the best. And then keep the Sorai available, in case for something. Now, I was going to move you. Just one space, of course, but... Now, you are the vulnerable one to get beat on. Especially with the claw there. But again, let's see if my opponent gets greedy or not. And also, I should look for a window where they have a nice, really tight formation, because I have two abilities at my disposal with the wizard. A Fireball, which is a 3x3 grid, and sadly they got the 2 dice on you because of the guard. No, that was the skink. Oh no, never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. And you're the one with strength 5, that's why you got the 2 dice. I did not think that's the best. But he didn't have claw or anything like that, so it's still decent for me. Because where are the ones with claw? So I know who to kind of keep my distance from. Because this Minotaur... Actually, this Minotaur could technically blitz this Sorai. If it so wished. Well, not anymore. Not with the Goat Man kind of in the moved out of the way. And you got the pickup. I'm tempted to use the Fireball, but it may be way too risky if I were to be serious. But this is the perfect opportunity for it too. To knock all of them down, possibly. Since again, 3x3 grid, but the big difference as opposed to the Lightning Bolt, it's a 50-50 chance to knock them down as opposed to the 1 in 6. But with so many more targets, you think it might be really beneficial. The only reason I don't want to do it is because I don't know how to follow it up and take advantage of it. Because especially with such a random nature of what targets actually does get knocked down. That's the only thing that's keeping me from truly committing to it. But they do have... Let's see. You're going to have to blitz with that. And you don't have tackle. And I think that gives them only 2 dice now. A bit of an awkward position. And you have Juggernaut as well, which means both down results don't punish you. But I can use my Sorai on you now, which I think I like, that possibility. And Sibley's about to get back up. So yeah, with no one to support this Minotaur, Mastekowet can support. I like this potential. I just gotta be ready to slow down the drive, essentially. And again, I forgot about the Strength 5er, which is going to be annoying. Without a doubt. Yeah, 2 dice there, whip block. And they don't... Yeah, Juggernaut doesn't work on my turn. They would have to blitz for Juggernaut to really matter. So let's see if we can knock this thing down. There. And then we'll keep Mastekowet as kind of like in preparation to deal with our big giant Sigger, whatever his name's called. And with Sibley, you're kind of as good as you could be. And I did burn a blitz as well. Gotta keep that in mind. And I do need one of these skinks to tie these guys up, though. Since they can open up a window of some sort here. Do I push you forward or not? Because you can use... Because then there's a vulnerable spot here. And I don't know if I like that so much. Especially if all my players getting knocked down, too. But we technically got away. We dodged the bullet on the very first turn, which is a good momentum swing for me, considering they're relying on a lot of early stuns. Chaos, especially with the Claw and Mighty Blow, want to get as much injuries as possible. Sadly, I'm not able to I did not get to punish that the best I would like. There was a possibility to get on the ball, but that may have been a little too aggressive on my part. But I always love an opportunity to play with a top quality star player at least, even if he may be kind of left to die a bit against a Claw warrior. And what's your mobility like? Only 6, so you take your entire turn going over to the right. So I'm kind of safe for this turn, and I always have that ace up my sleeve with the fireball. Now you're gonna re-roll that? Nope. My opponent learned from their first mistake, because that's how their first turn actually turned into disaster after all. You're really gonna blitz that? You get no momentum if you do that. You don't really get to move forward anyway. Okay, so they get 2 dice this time at least. And that only becomes a push on the both down, which my opponent, well, not that it really matters, I guess. But now I'm in a position to potentially punish this Minotaur now. Potentially. Yeah, they got tackle, so this skink's gonna get knocked down. Those are still rolls I could be happy with, considering the circumstances. If that had... I don't want to risk my sidestep skinks, but that would have helped a ton, at least minimizing some of that aggression. And never mind, help maneuver the Minotaur, since he's kind of forced to follow up with that frenzy. But you go into the wide right. I don't need to blitz you, but I would have to move 2 of my Sorai over, which I don't really like the best, and now you have enough moves to kind of support it. Big question. I'm again tempted to use the fireball. It just may not be a good idea, since none of my Sora are going to be able to push in there aggressively with these Chaos Warriors in the way. Ooh, risky play, buddy. Unnecessarily risky, maybe. I could easily intercept with the Skinks, though. That's the one benefit of having why I had the extra Skinks there. Since I kind of was committed or expecting to... With that said, I use these Skinks as fodder, right? Because I need 2 Skinks to get the 2 dice I want. Sibley, you're still standing as well, so I love to try bash with you. Okay, no bonehead, thankfully. And you do not have block, but I do have a reroll, so I need to figure out how to prioritize this the best. I want the Minotaur down because the Minotaur is going to just cause a lot of damage I'm not wanting. And if possible, maybe injure it, or stun it maybe. Which we get a stun at least. And that frees up my movement a little bit. Now, gotta keep in mind, you are the loner, I save you for last. You're the risky one. And if I knock you back, at least I can bash you. I probably could have pushed up, but that leaves me open to a possible foul, and you do have block. Which sadly didn't amount to a whole lot. And these guys do have guard as well, which is going to be annoying. So that's not quite as solid a defensive line as I like, because there's always the possibility of seeing you have wrestle. I don't want to deny my tackle zone. Do I tie you up? Nah, we'll just boot you out. And I could use the fireball. I don't know if I like this idea. I like it for security, because I should have opened up with that in all seriousness. I'll hang on to it. It's just really damn tempting, isn't it? 6 50-50 chances, and keep in mind it also includes it as though it had Mighty Blow, which means really good chance to stun them. But with my Skinks having moved, it's not like I can punish that the best. I really should have done that at the beginning. In all seriousness. You would have to attack Sibley, because Sibley has guard, so that would easily negate any assists that you're doing here on this one, on Gorohi. So you're kind of forced to bash Sibley. Slibley, is it? Slibley, yeah. At least we're getting some good use out of him, as opposed to that high rank dwarf match where all the might blows eventually knocked him out after 4 turns, I think. Although it goes without saying, I should use the wizard in this half, because it has a lot less... It's a lot less valuable early in my half when I'm pushing. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out guard. You are... Yeah, you have guard, but you only gain 1 guard assist, and with these 2 here, that's not quite favorable. Not quite, anyway. Gotta look for a possibility still for a fireball, which I might do at the start of next turn. And since I'm actively thinking about it, there's a good chance I'll remember to use it. And you do have block, sadly. But no claw, which I'm okay with. I am watching to see where you move. Because I have 2 skinks here free currently. Sibley. Do I want to free you? Well, they get to choose where to push me, which would be towards this Chaos Warrior. If it was this one, I probably would have let him push me, so that way I can free him up and move him around, because he actually has 7 movement, which is really tricky to utilize since I'm kind of using him as fodder, but it makes him exceptionally mobile. And they're even going to burn a blitz on him too. So Sibley is doing what I paid for him to do. And are you going to reroll? You're probably tempted, aren't you? You got the double pow. He is knocked out, but it is only a knockout at least. Now how are you going to spend the rest of your turn? Because these 2 skinks are free no matter what. I just need an opportunity to get at the ball, maybe. Maybe. I like this opportunity here. There's 5 targets with a fireball. I'm gonna do it. I might regret this. They all resist it. Every single one of them resist it. That is unfortunate. But since everyone's here in this mess, in theory I can get a bunch of people on that ball. And you're the one with guard, so I don't want you anywhere near, ideally. You get 2 dice there, 2 red dice on that one. Unless I can get an assist some kind, which not likely to happen. And we both have block. I should follow it up, but it's likely not to go well for me. They also have tackle, who am I kidding? And if I push you, where do you go? I have a reroll as well, so I kind of can get away with this. I just need my skinks in an awkward position. Because this can backfire, quite notably. Actually, I do want to tie you up at the same time. Because you're going to be a bit of a wrecking ball with your double push and shuffling people around. At least these 3 players, or at least players that are free, helps a little bit on the side, some. Maybe not as much as I like, though. And I do have a blitz as well. It had to fail eventually. But damn that fireball. If anything, that just means I would have failed the lightning bolt if I avoided it. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Because I don't know what the chances are exactly for failing all those 50-50s. Basically just double it every single time, I think, is how the easy way to do it. So yeah, it was 2, 4, 8, 16... well, 32, 54 maybe, 1 in 54 for that outcome, if I'm understanding it correctly. And you did burn a blitz there. I'm hoping that negates your 2 dice at least. which it should because of this one assist here. So we managed to keep him at bay, somewhat. I just wish that fireball worked. Because now I feel like my secret weapon is spent and I'm just an underdog at this point. It's kind of what it feels like, especially with no Slibbly as well. But if I could survive 4 turns, I'm kind of okay. At least for their half of getting touchdown. And I have 2 apothecaries as well to help. Ooh, I'm getting lucky on the dice rolls, but again, this is kind of more my fodder Sorai, so... And you could go around here. It's risky. It would burn your entire turn to go over there. And your Minotaur, well, you burnt Blitz, so your Minotaur may not be happy with you, is what I'm hoping. If I can fail, was it 5 or 6 50-50 chances? Yeah, it was probably 5 50-50s, then they can at least fail 1, right? The law of probability kind of demands it. And you have 1 reroll left, which you've been burning on kind of risky type, or at least unnecessary type of rolls, one of which cost you immensely. And I am forever thankful for that outcome. Despite how much I may moan the failed fireball. Because again, that just is a sign maybe the lightning bolt itself would have failed abysmally too. So I'm thankful I didn't try and gamble on waiting till the final turn to just knock down the ball carrier. And the skink is doing its thing at least, sort of. You don't have the convenience of blitzing with said Minotaur. And a level 5 Minotaur at that. You getting scared? I think they're getting scared. Now, can I punish this? Because these guys all have goddamn guard, so this did absolutely nothing. Ooh, it gives me additional strength, so I save you for later somehow. I gotta be mindful of my skinks that are moving, because I still need them for defenses, defending myself too. Which is why the Sorai should go up there instead. I'm probably using my skinks aggressively when I don't need to. And you do have block, sadly. I like this potential a lot. It may not go well, but it's a nice win opening for me. If 1 reroll, they may have to burn it on the pickup. I just am not going to attempt following up. I just can't justify the risk. But I get a bunch of 2 dices. Yeah, I'm going to be silent there. I don't know what... I could push it further back. Do I follow up? I feel like I do. Especially if this block goes well, which it's still 1 dice block. Who am I kidding? Alright. I tried to gamble, it did not pay off. Now, do I rather have Krosa here? I kind of want to protect my skink in case. In all seriousness. And I do get my POW, thankfully. Ooh, munch munch. Congratulations, Krosa! You are now level 2. Now, where are they likely to break through? Pretty much right... I don't honestly know. I have a lot of weak, fragile areas. And they would have to go for it, but I'd rather have the Minotaur just stay there. Because as soon as I move the skink, it just blitzes my Sorai, and then it shuffles a bunch of these guys over. With its frenzy and all that. But we succeeded in stopping her momentum quite heavily here. I just kind of wish I had that push, at least for this one block, because otherwise Mestekowitz kind of isolated, invulnerable. It's especially vulnerable to like a foul of some kind here, if he gets pushed over into this zone, or knocked down. Krosa gets knocked down last, but he got the injury he needed. And with you not utilizing Claw, I'm kind of okay with you knocking him down. There is going to be an opening here though, since now they're getting the POWs they need. Whew. They're still hitting me with Mighty Blow, so I'm still worried about a knockdown, but it's not nearly as bad as with Claw, since it would be over a 50-50 chance with Claw and Mighty Blow. So I'm failing a lot of these. It's making me wish I didn't get the second Apothecary, but that could easily change. Let's not kid ourselves. And they do have a spare player too, let's keep in mind. So that one injury is not really going to amount to anything. Whereas, so far it's just Slibley, but I would love to have Slibley back up too. And to have the best chance of him recovering, I need to get a touchdown. And my Skinkies... Oh, he's blitzing. He's daring it. Again, I kind of wish I had sidestep to go down here as opposed to up there, which my opponent's accommodating me some. Dodge is making it really tricky for him to knock me down. Now, the only... you don't have block. That's the scary thing. I was thinking maybe blitzing with you. And now they're getting a bunch of support anyway. So I think what I do is let them overcommit over here and just get right on top of the ball. It's gonna hurt. It's likely gonna hurt a lot. But if I'm surrounded the ball, I should be able to deny him a touchdown. There's Claw finally taking effect. And with lack of... Well, they don't have any guard at all in this mess, so... All the guys with guard have been busy fighting with Krosa, I think. Isn't there a third guard around? Yeah, it's on the Minotaur and the one goat. Oh, you were going to try and push and maybe look for a foul, maybe? But there's the value of lack of guard. That's a 4+. Are you going to burn that reroll? Your final reroll. Accidentally burn that reroll on a harder grab. There's a possibility for a skink to grab this ball. Is there a way I can knock these bastards? There is. Bonehead triggered last, so... I'm not having Krosa for this. And I want to leave you for kind of to help fill any gaps. A bit risky, but I see a window. Not with a push, though. I just stay. You would have to burn a blitz if you want to use your claw. You do not have block. Let's see. And I would have to do a double go for it if I want to try to go there. I want to try to get as many on the ball as possible, though. I would like to anyway, it's just not looking likely here. And if I try picking up and it goes up here, then I have no one to kind of deny that. But I can move my skink at least. There's always that possibility. And you do have block, so I'm kind of not afraid to push with you. It's a damn go for it. I have 30 seconds, let's keep that in mind. Okay. And I do have a reroll. I'm just being greedy at this point. Let's try it. I do have a Sorai there, but I need to reinforce it. I probably should have followed up. That was a mistake. Now, let's give him a bit of a scare. Because this could still work the way I'm thinking. Surprisingly. Nope, failed to dodge, alas. So that stinks. 2 1 and 9 dodges in a row. But where's the ball go with that said? It's a little bit further back. It was worth the attempt. But even with bad luck, I would argue the past few turns with the failed fireball, the luck is heavily swinging against me. With the Bonehead failing, I think, 2 skink dodges in a row. But for the first turn, kind of blunted their momentum heavily at least. But now, Snuffle is swinging heavily against me. Because that should have been heavily in my favor, at least get to the ball. I just wasn't expecting after that failed first block of being able to grab it or get at it freely. Which still wasn't free, because I did burn my Blitz. Which could have possibly been used on this Beastman if I really want to deny a dodge altogether. Failed to go for it. You're gonna burn that reroll. Okay, does get the knockdown. They're looking for a foul here. I know exactly what this is. Why else would you burn a Blitz on? Maybe not the... Well, let's see. If you're pushing them that way, that's not a big deal. But the ball's free. I was a bit worried maybe it would have been a foul if they went this way. Because I got 2 Sora, I kind of helped mitigate some foulings. Or foul attempts. It's possible for my skink to pick up the ball and hand off here. It's so far, I'm getting really lucky with this fodder skink. Still kind of wish for... Ooh, finally they knock him down. After how many attempts? Just a stun, thankfully. And they only got the stun because of Mighty Blow, too. So if I could somehow knock him down, or even dare, well, we have to see how the rest of the turn plays out, but if they ignore this ball, then I have a really good opportunity, I have a really good opportunity to just knock them down, or at least push them out of the way. It's for a possible skink pickup. And I only just gotta survive one more turn of this onslaught for the first half. They're gonna try to pick it up, but with no rerolls, that's always possible to fail. Ah, they picked it up. Now go for it. This could work well for me. Is there a way I can open it up, though? Not really, I just have to do skink bullshit, as I think is what they dub it. Which is going to be tricky to do. Now, Krosa. I want you to tie people up, ideally. I don't think there's any way I can get you... Well, I could with Go For It. How to best open us up? In all honesty, it's knocking this one bastard down. And you do not have block, which makes that really risky endeavor. I think I want to try for a touchdown, but I'm going to have to do a 1 dice block, and hell, I have 3 rerolls. Even though I technically can only burn 1. So I know what I want to do here, at least attempt to. Because now it's not possible for him to even touch down, so... What I need to do is make sure I get the touchdown somehow. Which is the big thing. And you're a strength 5 guy, so 1 dice. Eh. Let's at least... Oh, tentacles. I forgot about that. Oh, well. How close can I get? 1, 2, 3, 4... Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can't touch down, but there's always the possibility I can. I just don't have any other spare skinks just yet, especially with the tentacles being problematic. Since I kind of not been thinking about the tentacles at all, which is part of the reason why that's a problem. But we successfully denied them a touchdown, no matter how this plays out. Just arguably may have been quite a bit of luck, bad luck on my part, not being able to at least get the ball. Since I did have a reroll available, but since I burnt my dodge on the skink dodge, it wouldn't allow me to even have the option to use my team reroll. And that's going to be something I'm going to have to learn as I play more with Lizardmen, especially with 3 rerolls. When should I be getting greedy and recklessly using these, especially if I don't get like the knockdowns or POWs that I'm looking for? Because there were opportunities I could have considered it. That's the only thing I'm going to have to really think on. Since I arguably did play really safe, but it's not like I played badly. It's just a question of how could I have played it better. Well, Wild Animal paid off, but you still have tackle zones, don't you? Yeah, it does not move, so they still technically have a tackle zone, so tentacles still would affect me. But I'm gonna have to try nonetheless. Okay, push, I'll take that. Don't know what else to really say there. There isn't a whole lot I can say in all honesty. It's still ultimately a victory on on this half for me. It's just a question of how to take advantage of having the ball, since I got better mobility than them, without a doubt. And they're getting a lot of pushes. There's still 1 in 6 chances of going bad, so it's still technically a safe roll. Technically. I just wonder how this would have played out if they did not get the double skulls on that greedy reroll. Both down. They finally knocked down Krosa. And that one did have claws. And might below the boot, so... Oh, you're going for the foul. The jerk. Okay, knockout. I am going to burn one of my apothecaries to try and recover him. There. At least that way he's still in for the second half. I kind of want the ball to go left. But there is a possibility for me to do something here. I think my opponent's screwed up here. I just need a knockdown. Alright, let's murder these things. I could have done both down, but it's not a big a deal. Let's try for it. And sadly, it's not Kungwa Kungwa, but I have a reroll to make up for that. Skink bullshit. Well, it's not really bullshit. Oh, we're not out of the woods yet. I may have gotten a little cocky. Oh my god. Now I think it's safe to say we won that half. In more ways than one. Okay, I'm a bit speechless. A bit. But again, the honest truth comes down to how would that first turn have played out if my opponent did not get greedy like they did and gone for that first turn reroll. And now, ooh, 2 of them get up at least, and I do have a spare sore eye. So I think I'm in good shape here. A bit of a weird looking formation, it goes without saying. I don't know what the hell this formation is. But I got a touchdown, I just gotta, in all seriousness, I just gotta make sure to never get the ball. I don't even need to try for a touchdown. And Slippy, I kind of want you in the middle because of your guard. And are you going to have everyone on guard? Or, in all honesty, they're going to have their fodder, their lowest level, you would think, in the front line. Unless they think they could deny me a lot of my power. That's the exception there. They still have a guard goat. That's all I could tell you. And they still have 11 players, since they did have a spare all this time. Again, what the hell is this setup? I could not tell you. Now, I want lots of blocks. Aratul, you'll hang in back there. And you have guard, which would negate a lot of these. Which isn't terrible, because then this one negates that. Just gotta be cautious of a blitz, which can really stink, or any kind of thing that gives them a free move. I think we're good here, I think. I just don't know how to do this better. Because this is a nice bashy formation, maybe not so much with Krosa's placement, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that since he has Loner, kind of like Slibley, you want to save his attack for last. Since they have a higher risk of going badly. So 2 dice there with block, and this is part of the reason, because if I get a bad roll, I can't punish it the best. Like that. That is the perfect example why there. I should have moved Slibley. But at least I don't have to feel so bad now for such a bad... my opponent having a terrible first turn, because it just happened to me. And my Skink's perfectly safe, I just don't get the momentum I like. I still have an Apothecary. And none of the guys on the front line have Claw or Mighty Blow. But the Minotaur is free. The free to murder poor Goratul. Goratul, I suppose, is the proper pronunciation. You kind of want to blitz, because otherwise, you're likely to wild animal. Push them both down, with your Juggernaut, which only turns into a push. And they finally get the POW. Now the big question, can I handle this attack gracefully, or this onslaught gracefully? Because we proved I can at least stall them out really well. So in theory I should be able to do this when I have the ball as well and no real pressure to worry about them just sneaking past me. Or at least sneaking past for a quick touchdown. I just can't get complacent, is the main thing. Especially now that the Minotaur's in the thick of it. As opposed to before, but... unless... well, depending on... I could still knock him down and crowd control him like I did before, at least. But yes, please, more one dice blocks, especially the risky ones since you lack a block. And you burnt the blitz, so Krosa is safe. In fact, Krosa is just in a good position to tie these two up, sort of. The strength 5 is going to be annoying. And again, I don't really need to touch down unless I get a window to push up aggressively. I can stall this out kind of like I did in the first half to an extent. And if they push so hard on the right, I can easily go left. Potentially. You need a big foul for that. Is it worth losing a player? One that has block and guard, no less. Since guard is kind of really important for you. Since, what do I have? I have 2 free Sorai here. And a third one back here to support. So let's try and reinforce this some. And who do I blitz with if I'm going to blitz at all? Probably Gordohi here to blitz this one. Sliply should be fine on his own. I can't quite get 2 dice block. Well, that's not true. That is honestly not true at all. So maybe I blitz you instead. I gotta keep in mind, you do not have block. That's the big problem there. But I can kind of... Actually, I think I'm okay with that. Maybe. This may be a mistake. I may have been thinking of this badly. Oh no, I can get 2 dice there with an extra skink. And you do have block. You just have to go for which we don't want. So let's prevent that, please. Kind of hoping for a knockdown, but I learned not to get greedy. Arguably greedy. Especially since this is a more important knockdown anyway. My skinks aren't really tying it up the best, but it has the potential to tie it up. Since I no longer get my 2 dice there, alas. Is a bit of the problem. And yeah, Krosa, you might as well stay there and make it this strength 5 a little bit uncomfortable. And I kind of want to leave you here, in all honesty, because you are kind of my window to keep these tackles, at least keep my line a little bit secure. At least a little bit. Please do. That would just be a demonstration you're getting a little rambunctious and a little bit bitter. I kind of failed to consider your movement there, but thankfully, this having a skink here helps a lot. At least keep him from just blitzing my skink at least. Now we just gotta look for a window, and they're more likely to get a window with a lot of claw and mighty blow than I am to get a window knocking out and stunning their players. So in all honesty, it just comes down a lot to how these rolls go. Since with their guard and Slibly in a terrible spot to actually support, he doesn't have break tackle, does he? No. Break tackle would allow me to use his strength to dodge as opposed to just dodging normally, which would be based on agility, so sadly he doesn't have that convenience to just move over here to support Krosa. Alas. But I do have these 2 Sorai, which are, depending if what this Minotaur does, is kind of able to support. And that was a knockdown, wasn't it? A defender's stumble, I think. I have an extra apothecary, thankfully. It's just a question of what does the apothecary do. Joins the substitutes. That was scary, wasn't it? Now I feel vindicated with that second apothecary. But now any injuries that happen here are going to be felt. Wild animal, yes. Yes. You burnt the reroll. Which is probably the best I could ask for. Because again, there was a... If they let it go, both damned, which turns it into a push. So, yeah, you're going to use Juggernaut, which sadly, my Sorai aren't in a good position to just get a free block. They could blitz it, though. Which is probably not what I want to do. But there's a nice window over here. I just used the Skinks to tie up this Minotaur some. That's kind of always been the plan. They burnt the reroll for it, so it technically was still worth it. Okay, push me all you want. I hope for a skull of some kind. That would be kind of nice. That's what I'm secretly hoping with their burnt reroll. And Sibley has guard and stand firm. Maybe I should have let him get knocked back, because it would allow him to reposition, in all honesty, which is something I shouldn't take lightly with 7 movement. So I could deny you your assist and get 2 dice here. Which won't really give me a whole lot of assists otherwise elsewhere. So this is a bit of an awkward position. If I don't get the knockdowns though, then this is just going to go bad. And I get 2 dice there at least. And I get 2 dice on that warrior if this goes well. So maybe I'm more inclined to try this. It's not going to help as much as I want to, though. Especially with a perfect window to just bash this Minotaur. I may be fixating on the Minotaur a little bit too much. But I can still take advantage of this. I just gotta move my stack whip beforehand. Is the main thing. Because I can easily go over here. That goat has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trying to make this difficult for him. Now I'm just wishing maybe I didn't stand firm with Sibley, because as soon as I let him get not pushed back, they're just going to step forward some. I could risk a couple of red dice still. Maybe I can attempt the red dice. He does have block after all. And a push is kind of okay there. I don't like this formation one bit there. But again, the plan should be just to try and stall them out best I can. I am going to feel the pain though, with no apothecaries now. So it's just tense, is the moral of the story here. I can still... I wonder if I should have just handed off to Kungwa Kungwa, or did I actually move him? Since he had a good chance to pick up the ball and then, at the very least, just put the ball in their half of the map, maybe, if I'm feeling desperate. That is still an option. Oop. Slibbly, Slibbly, Slibbly. You're getting yourself knocked out there, buddy. It is due to Mighty Blow and Claw, of course, but still, Slibbly, Slibbly. You're gonna attempt the double go for it. It's a risky maneuver. One that's sort of been working well for him, considering the number of go for it's he did before. And I gotta remember, Kungwa Kungwa is here. He's kind of my wild card if I keep his position in mind. Since if they ever overcommit, he just runs over to Kungwa Kungwa, hands off with a really good chance to succeed, and then just runs off out into the wild blue yonder. They just could hunt him down. Most of them can, or at least the Goatmen can. But the Chaos Warriors cannot hope... Well, this one has 5 movement, I take that back. They kind of have the mobility to chase me down. But I think they decide, well, they haven't moved the one Beastman that could chase down Kungwa Kungwa in all honesty, so it remains to be seen what they're going to do. And you're Strength 5, you're always the awkward one, damn it. But I have 2 block, I could attempt single dice blocks. But I don't really create an opening is the problem. Oh, you made your go for it a little bit harder there. You burnt the second reroll. Unlucky, maybe, but there were still 2 go for it's that they were doing. So I kind of want to bait out the go for it in all honesty, but at the same time, I worry a bit about that said maneuver. I would love to just create a window and just sprint on through. That's just not likely to happen, though. I do get 2 dice here, but you don't have block. That's always the scary thing. If I go back too much, they might be eyeing Kungwa Kungwa with the handoff, though, so I need to be mindful of that. But at least I'm further away from the Minotaur, there's always that. And if I'm gonna burn a blitz, then you're okay getting up. Ooh, stun. Or even a knockout. I'll take that. Only 1 dice, but I can sort of correct that, sort of. Who has block? We'll focus on them first. One dice block. We'll go with the 2 dice first. And try and reinforce this line a little bit. Try to. But if this goes bad, then they have an opening, which I do not like. And I'll just push you back. Stall you that much more. That was Kungwa. I didn't want to actually move him in all seriousness. Or do I move you here? No. Where do I best want to put you? Actually, I'll put you back. I was thinking you were another skink if I were to be serious. Because I want that possibility to outmaneuver him and just circle around. Mainly when the goatmen commit too much to one side. Since my opponent will be kind of forced to do something with me having the lead. And with 2 rerolls burnt, I'm kind of okay with that, so long as I can get them to keep doing some greedy plays. Because the only thing this Minotaur can blitz is a lowly skink. Sure, they have 5 SPP, but at least the most expendable I can afford. What is your agility anyway? Only 2. And that's what you get for not having break tackle. As a convenient way to dodge. Now I gotta be cautious. Well, actually I could just blitz this guy and then pick up maybe. I'm gonna do another 1 dice block, so gotta be cautious. Because these guys can easily bash, but they both don't have blocks, so there's risk with Goratl. Pushing both down. Both down at least doesn't help them any, sort of. They could blitz the skink. Well, actually all these guys have moved. It's just this one in the Minotaur. We'll see what the Minotaur does. I'd rather it stay down in all seriousness, but they need a reason to blitz. And this is what the Minotaur is about to do, since it's the only move left. Finally got the knockdown. Are they gonna go that route? You would think they would knock down. Oh, push. So this is about positioning. So you just push away from Kungwa, which I'm okay with. I think I got a possibility here. I just gotta deal with this one goat. I think I know what I want to do here. I don't know if it's going to go as well as I like. But I'm going to try it. I feel this is the window I'm looking for. And I have 1 reroll left. I could dodge, but I have a reroll. I just want to push. A pad will do, though. Now let's see if this does what I'm hoping. It definitely has done what it needed. Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. Well, this is a little unfortunate. I might as well try and pick it up. Not how I want that to go, but the ball is still technically still protected. Now, can I do more skink bullshit? Because this is kind of my fallback plan, although Kungwa could have still protected me some. Kungwa still can. Do I move him over? Well, actually, we'll just leave him there. Security's sake. That burnt my final reroll, alas. And Oratol is going to suffer a big beating here now, since I don't have the skink to kind of protect from a foul at this point now. Let alone to deny the assist, keep that in mind too. Although with 2 guard that wouldn't have mattered anyway. Come on, bash the lowly skink. It's been working out well so far, thankfully, just because you don't have block. You need a very specific die, which you did get this time, alas, so this might hurt. But the skinks are doing a damn good job keeping the Minotaur at bay. But that's changed now. And with all these moves that they still have left, they thankfully can't blitz. They can only really reinforce over here. And I could still technically hand off. That's a possibility. This Minotaur should have gone up here. So that way it ties up both Kangwa and Karnox, despite that poor roll. Now I just need to knock you down. But again, it comes down heavily to how these guys move. Because they can't dodge in here. I have a window for that, at least. And that goat can actually get up, so I can't use Salatul to get up. So I am going to have to try and hand off with a slight penalty. Go for it. And I can likely bash these down for an opening. Oh, there we go. There's two penalty modifier there, but Gorothi can push you, and actually that helps with pushing the ball out of the way. That actually helps me a lot. My opponent is not doing this. It's left a nice window for me. Never mind the fact they try to dodge. But with a reroll, that wasn't too terribly risky. Now, I want to keep these guys down because I don't know where I want to put them just yet. But I know what I'm doing here. Sadly, that did not give me what I want. I can still hand off. I still have a blitz. That is a risky play. And only for a 1 dice, too. If I hand off to Kangwa, that's the best chance. It's what? A 5+ with a reroll. Actually. Ooh, injury, I'll take it. I kind of have a better idea. Sort of. Miss next game. I can't do a few. No, actually, that's not a better idea. I was thinking, why not move with the skink here first? But no, that's a terrible idea. Since then I couldn't move it after the handoff. My Sorai are pissed now. After these turn of events. I'm still likely going to attempt to hand off, without a doubt. It's better. It's as good odds as I probably could ask. Or actually, I was going to say, I need to still move with Kangwa for best safety. Or best security. Jeez, that's 3 injuries in a row. Now, a big moment of truth. Let's see how this ball goes. It's a 55% chance, I think. Ooh, we got it. You do have tackle and wrestle. So now, I'm just wondering, do I leave you here? is the honest question. Actually, no. I want to make sure the ball stays as close to me as possible. But I can fix this. Potentially. I don't know if I like this because there is again a gap. But considering the circumstances, that went well. Minecraft. Well, there are blocks. I guess we're halfway there to Minecraft, aren't we? It's not quite Minecraft, but I have to deal with the bashiest of the bashy. A bunch of chaos that only play this game to murder people. They don't play by the rules. But thankfully, it's been going well for me. Damn it, I don't have timestamps on my chat, so I apologize if that was if I'm late noticing your message there, it's Rick. But sidestep. Who's attacking, damn it? I was not watching the Minotaur, I think. Which is why I said I like sidestep here, because I can actually manipulate where I want the Minotaur to go. Damn it, I should have gone over here, that was dumb. Actually, no, the Minotaur was there. Because now they can blitz. And this is likely to knock me down, especially with a block. But with me having a lead, all I need to do is stand on the ball in all seriousness and keep him from picking it up. This will still not go well. And you don't have tackle. The dice are gracing me here. Ooh, and they burnt their final reroll. Now, where do I best want to go? Because the ball's going to scatter one space away from me. I want it near my sore eye. Well, don't worry there, Itrig. All you need to know is that there's a lot of 6-sided dice. One has a bunch of faces, and then one is just the traditional 1 and 6. And it actually will show. Actually, I know what their skills are, so I'll just turn off the overlay on what their skills are. So at least that way you can see what the chances are. But simply put, there's a lot of D6 rolls. I'll try my best to explain, even though we're technically about at the end of this match. Sure hands did you nothing. So I'll try my best to explain it. Simply put, with what's going to happen now, I'm going to try and bash my opponent, and it's going to be dictated by their strength versus my strength. So Chaos Warrior with Strength 5 gets to choose the dice, which is why those dice are red. And each of those have different facing, which means different results. Now, you have block. I want you to bash this one guy. But you're a safer block. So let's try and knock you down. Perfect. Let's see if we can do anything about this. So, I should have explained what those dice rolls were, but the POW icon you saw, it knocks them down and has a chance to break their armor. Kind of like a Warhammer 40k tabletop if you played that. It's almost exactly the same, which is what the AV represents here. So once I roll higher than that, there's a chance of a serious injury of some kind. That arrow just pushes them forward. So nothing exciting there, but it allows me to move my characters. Where do I want you to go? Just tying people up. So the reason I'm standing next to these guys, because every time, if I try and move away from them, I have to do a roll. And since my guys have really bad agility, it's a really bad roll. And I don't have any rerolls available, so picking up this ball is also based on agility, but a little more realistic. And these guys are just screwed by the Minotaur. There's not much I could do there. Self-explanatory what the Minotaur does. I failed to pick up and it scatters as a result. Maybe I should have got up with the skink. That was a mistake. A little bit. They have 2 turns left. It basically goes into 2 halves. Yeah, let's see. There's 2 halves there. We're in the second half, and I'm currently in the lead with 1 score there. So all I'm really trying to do is stall, but if I can make it to the end, basically like football and rugby in general, then that just allows me to get more experience, since this technically has Armada 1 rules as far as the leveling up with your units. You can level them up and get upgrades for them. in the case of my big Saurus here, my Saurai, all the level 2 ones have block, which basically makes it a lot more safer for me to do knockdowns. Or do bashes, essentially, since it negates one of the negative results. So, for each of those dice you see on the roll, it's a 1 in 6 chance of me getting straight up knocked down. Ooh, red dice, really? You got a damn lucky roll. Since these are red, I get to choose the dice as opposed to my opponent, but he got Defender Stumbles, which means if I don't have a specific skill, that still knocks me down. But damn, that was a lucky roll on their part. That was a little bit reckless. Slatsul. Sadly, I have no Apothecary. I burnt both my Apothecaries. What a damn bad way to end that. There is a tie. It just modifies how much money and fan factor you technically get, which is a factor that inflates your points and helps with positive results on your side. Wow. Well, well, at least that one I'm okay with, but damn. Losing 2 Saurai is a big deal all of a sudden. Yep, but what elves like to do is they just run away. As you would expect of elves, but damn. This may be a win, but who would have expected 2 deaths instantly after the other? I still technically can do something decent here. There's still a respectful chance to get a touchdown, but damn, was it worth it to lose 2 Saurai, one of which was level 2? And it's like I said earlier, at the very beginning, this just balances out how bad the first turn went for my Chaos opponent. Do you get to pick up or not? Nope. Now, I think what I want to do is just deny them the grabbing the ball in all seriousness. As unlikely as that might be, the more skinks or more players I have around the ball, the more of a negative modifier they get, simply put. So I don't think I'm going to try and pick it up. But with the weak strength of these skinks, I'd rather. I'm a little bit, I kind of don't want to fight them now with how bad those last 2 deaths were. That normally is a really unlikely thing to do. You could buy, sell traders, or buy and sell players. I don't think anyone does any trading anymore, or at least I never see one on the market. So normally you just fire them if they're not what you want. Hell, your players can also get negative modifiers as well. Where is he? Or is he one of the dead ones? One of my Saurus here have actually -1 movement due to a permanent injury that they suffered. So just like I can level them up, they also can suffer permanent negative effects. Oh, and I should have blitzed. That allows me to move and bash at the same time. And I like these skinks because they have dodge, which allows me a free reroll for any dodge attempts. And you don't have block, so I think we'll just let this go. That was a bittersweet ending, good God. Because I'm not going to be able to replace both those Sauruses, those Saurai. So I'm going to be down 1 player for the next match. But it's still a win. Just a bad way to end that off, considering they had all this time to just bash me to death. Oh, and let's see. Anything else you're curious about? Let's see. I'm trying to think of well, everything's pretty straightforward. It is simple to get into. There's a lot of strategies, like I told you about. You kind of want to mark players, which is standing next to them, because at least that way they can't run away from you. Since again, my Saurus have so poor mobility, they almost always are stuck base to base with these other players, unless I have some way to knock them down. This is gonna hurt. This is a level 1 skink. I can afford this. even if it is an injury. No long-term effects. Why couldn't that have been for my sore eye? Well, that was not what I was expecting. You burnt the blitz there, which means he can only do that move and attack me once. So this is game no matter what. It's impossible for him to get this ball now. And my opponent has no mannerism anyway, or they don't speak English. That's always a possibility. But Chaos in general, like I said, they're all about beating up and killing players. They only go after the ball when it's convenient for them, ideally. Because the more injuries you do, the more experience you get. Which is part of the reason why in the open ladder, there's a lot of players that care about bashing and killing players. You would think. No, I'm playing multiplayer here. This is an actual opponent, another player. You can play single player. There's even like single player leagues and campaign you can play as well. But thank God that was not another death. But single player plays out the exact same. It's just the AI of the bots. Hell, you can even play hot seat. Excuse me. You can even play hot seat with another player or another person. And that foul was just bad manners. They get no experience even if that was an injury. There is risk doing fouls, but since it's the very end of the game, that was just a rage. Them being salty, in all seriousness. But that is a victory. A costly one with those 2 deaths at the very end. But let's see. I get 80,000. That's enough to buy at least 1 sore eye back. He will be level 1, sadly, so Salazzle will be missed. Poor fella. I could also reroll this since I'm the winner, but it's more likely I'm going to get less money as a result of this. So I'm not going to do that. And my fan factor does not go up. So, this inflates my team value a little bit, but who's MVP? Axbito. Oh my god! Level 3 sore eye. I will happily... Well, it's kind of morbid to say. I will happily sacrifice a level 2 sore eye to get a level 3 sore eye. So conveniently, ooh, and Krosa also leveled up, so I'm going to get to show you the level up process a bit. Although, my team value was at 1380 before that match, with those 2 deaths. And I don't think anyone's missed out for a match. It dropped down to a whopping 180 points, so... And also to note, my opponent had a team value of 1820, I think. So it balances out in a vague way like Armada 1 did. You get a bunch of bonus points or bonus cash to spend to help buy mercenaries, star players, or in my case, I bought a second apothecary and a star player. But, oh my god, 3 levels even. Oh, Karnok's got the level for a touchdown too. So let me show you how this works. Pretty self-explanatory. I roll 2 dice, and depending on what I roll, it dictates a few things. Oh my god! This is a big deal because I can boost his strength, which may not sound exciting for a skink, but it makes him harder to knock down as a result. Or, I can't increase his mobility to that, but this would be better for, of course, my frontline guys, but it's still useful for a skink. Because again, it just means they have to put more effort to knock him down, essentially. So I'm going with it. I don't know how much that inflates his points, though. That inflated his points a lot, good god. He's worth 130,000 as opposed to the 100,000 of Kungwa, who's also level 3. So I may regret that choice, because in all honesty, I won't know how to take full advantage of this additional strength, if I were to be serious. But now, Axbitol, let's see, what do you get? You're my first level 3 sore eye. And you rolled a 9. If I rolled a 10, he would have a chance to either increase his armor or his movement up by 1, if I so wished. But now we have a few choices here. If I had rolled doubles like those 2 6s, I could have chose to unlock the skill and the ability and passing tree as well. But by default, these swords can only get access to strength and general skills. So what Axmatul, what did I want you to be? I think I want you as my Blitzer. I'm just trying to remember what was the recommended skills. Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow is what it is. Okay. Because I don't know if you heard what I talked about Mighty Blow before, but it increases the chance of breaking armor and doing injuries. And Blitzers, of course, is the guys I normally will use my move and attack. The once per turn I can do where I move and attack at the same time. So he's gonna be my he's gonna be doing the big power plays essentially, is what I'm have in mind for Axmatul. And Krosa, my big guy that you didn't get to see him play because he got knocked out twice. Hell, he actually died and my apothecary saved him. So I actually suffered 3 deaths in that match to emphasize just how bashy Chaos can be when leveled up. But he has a lot of traits, some of which are negative. It's a 50-50 chance if I burn a reroll on him, it does nothing. Mighty Blow, of course, I already mentioned. 6 Gall, a lot more. He's not as likely to get knocked out from an injury. And he has a special tail, which makes it hard to dodge away from him, which is why I always want him to ideally tie up as many people as possible. And then Bonehead, there's always a 1 in 6 chance if I try and move with him that he just does nothing. But let's see what we get for him. Something big. No, just basic roll. So I think Guard is what the go-to is. It allows him to still assist and increase the strength of nearby allies or nearby players, even if he's in someone else's tackle zone, which means he gives a point of strength to players that are next to him essentially, no matter the circumstances, which can be useful in the big dog piles. But with that all said, I boosted my team value by 90 by those 3 level up. Now, I think I'm actually going to buy a source afterwards. Oh yeah, Chaos. Let's see. Yep, Chaos and Beastmen. There's actually Nurgle and Khorne, as well as Demon Packs as well for Blood Bowl, but Khorne and the Demon Pact, which I have no idea what Demon Pact is, are not in Blood Bowl 2 currently. But they are in Blood Bowl 1 and they are in the actual tabletop game, which this is all based on. So that's the important thing to note. But I think I'm going to hold off on buying my Sorai here, because I do kind of want to give him a name and find a name for him essentially. But the next match is going to be a little bit rough, since I am going to be down one of my Sorai for my front line. But I still have 11 players, which is how many you can put on the field. But yeah, there are 4 different type of Chaos factions. Is there a way I can easily browse through them and show you them quickly? But otherwise, I think that's all for the YouTube video portion. Thank you everyone for watching. God, I am shocked I actually won that match.